I would always make excuses to avoid going to the beach with my friends. And not because I didn't like the ocean, but because I hated the way I looked. But now I look like this, and now I'm the one who's inviting every one of my friends and family to go to the beach. Therefore, in this video I'm gonna show you 5 steps that I followed to go from insecure to the confident and attractive looking guy at the beach. If you really want this video to help, then watch this video all the way through to the end, because else you will just miss the part that will make the difference. So the first step to becoming an attractive and aesthetic looking guy at the beach is to find your FTE moment, which stands for fuck this event. It's basically also your why. Growing up, I was always the skinny kid. I had absolutely no confidence because I hated the way I looked physically. Therefore, I was obviously the guy who didn't attract any woman that I wanted. But I did really want to attract somebody. Therefore, I used to hate the popular kids in my school because they always used to take all the attention away from the girls, while I got absolutely no attention from them at all. Do you know the feeling when you have a crush, like somebody that you just can't stop thinking about? It feels like your life is just depending on getting her. And then all of a sudden, the popular guy in your classroom who doesn't really give a shit about her can just turn off his brain, not even think, and he treats her badly, and all of a sudden she is obsessed with him. While I was always the guy holding the doors from the girls, giving them compliments, talking out the problems with them about, funny enough, the attractive guy from the class who maybe ditched her. And then all of a sudden it just clicked in my head that the guy who is obsessed with the girl will always be the one who doesn't get her. I literally hated my life after realizing this truth, that if you're just not attractive or if you don't have any charisma, you're just fucked with women. Nobody wants you. And I literally had none. I didn't even have charisma. I couldn't even talk with a girl without stuttering because I was so nervous talking to them. So my FTE, fuck this event, was basically when I found out that I didn't have any of these traits, and that's why I didn't attract any girls. So honestly, I was at such a low point in my life where I just thought, well, what's the point of even living if I don't have any of those? How am I ever gonna find a woman? But this all changed. And it all changed when my best friend in 8th or 9th grade, like I was between 14 and 15 years old, and he invited me to come to the gym with him. So first, I was such a pussy, like I always kept making excuses to him that, oh, I couldn't, my parents wasn't really into it, and oh, I don't really have the money, blah, 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 just yapping, right? And he was finally like, bro, get your act together and fucking just buy it, just try it, and come with me to the gym. And I did. And it was the best decision of my entire life. But the thing is, I didn't think that when I started out. I want to be honest, I don't want to be like the hero. Yeah, it was amazing from day one. It wasn't, because it was so embarrassing. I was so skinny and underweight, and I could barely take any weight. Like just with the barbell, I could only take 20 kilos on the bar. Not even, for like 4 reps. And this was my form. I was swaying more with the bar than, I don't know, being on a fucking surfboard. But already after the 2 first gym sessions, I could actually take like 10 reps with the barbell. So I had to move up in weight. Then I was taking 1.25 on each side. Then after 2 weeks again, or 2 trainings, I went up to 2.5, 5 kilos, 6.25, and all of a sudden, 4 or 5 months had went by, and I could take 8.75 on each side of the bar. Think about how crazy progress that is. And that was the exact moment that my life changed, because I realized that we can actually do something to change our lives instead of just indulging in unhealthy habits. Like, I used to always play the video game called Clash Royale. Like, I have been such an addict to this game. I have been playing it like from when I woke up till like I went to sleep, all days long. So coming to the gym and having this kind of in real life leveling up, it was an amazing experience for me, and I really enjoyed it. So my point is, you need to be so frustrated in a moment in your life that you just can't help but take action. So for me, I was so tired of seeing my popular friends at school getting all of the women's attention. Like, I didn't even get like 0.1% of their attention. I didn't even speak with any women. So my action step to you right now is to ask yourself, what could be your FTE moment? Fuck this event. It doesn't have to be like right now, but can you maybe think back on something that makes you so irritated that you just want to smack some holes into your wall? If that's the case and that's the feelings that you get, you are actually on the right track. Because the reason why I also said that this would be your why is because whenever you are at the gym or whenever you're doing something difficult in life, this will always be your reminder. So when you're about to quit, you remind yourself of this moment, you visualize it, you really think back to this moment, and then you just get an insane amount of motivation right in that moment. So that is basically a cheat hack. If you want to take your fitness to the next level and get aesthetic so you can get more attraction from women and just get more girls, then I have just a thing for you. Go down and click the link in the description. Now let's get back to the video. So the second step is, don't listen to people who hasn't achieved your goals. Think about it. If you listen to their advice, you will end up looking like them and not actually looking like what you wanted to. So when I graduated from 9th grade, I had to go to something called after school, which was a place where you just lived on the school basically with roommates. So a very good time I had. But there was this guy who trained at the gym almost every single day of the week. Like, he did like 5 to 6 trainings a week. I think it was around that. And he trained like a strong man. So basically he did 5 times 5, all of that kind of things. So where you just focus on improving your strength. And he only did basically compound movements and then a few isolated movements like the easy, the overhead tricep extension, or what it's called. I think that's what it's called. And he always tried to encourage me to train his workout because I always did so much volume. I did like 10 to 12 reps, sometimes even 15, sometimes even 20 reps, just all the way to failure all the time. And he always told me like, why don't you train this? Come over, do this strong workout instead. And I'm so happy that I didn't, because if I had done that, I maybe wouldn't have built this more aesthetic and attractive looking body that I have right now. But maybe I would just have looked stronger and been stronger, but not more attractive. Because remember, my goal is to look attractive. Maybe yours is that as well. So if your goal is to be attractive, don't listen to some guy who has way more experience in another topic. Find people who are advanced in the topic that you want to improve on. That is the quickest way to improve faster. So the third step is, your diet is your fuel. Don't give yourself the wrong fuel. So there is a quick analogy that I want to give you. So imagine a car. A car can only drive optimal when it gets the right fuel. And there's different kinds of fuels. Foods. So when you give your body or your car the wrong fuel, what will happen? It will burn up, it will destroy the car, it will ruin everything. And you will have to make repairs on the car, which cost so much money, which in this example would be time. So imagine this with you. So when you give yourself the wrong fuel, you will become fatter, you will become more unhealthy. Basically, you will ruin your car. And then you will need to invest more time in redo all that damage that you have currently done to your body. So of course, we want to also do this with our bodies that we want. Like, of course not give ourselves the wrong fuel, but we want to give ourselves the right fuel. So what is the right fuel, you may ask? Well, basically just think about like this. I want to keep it simple for you. Basically every single food that has a low amount of ingredients list. So whenever you go to the Walmart or wherever you can buy food, if you look on the back of the ingredient list and you can see more than 5, usually it is an unhealthy food. For example, bananas, rice, potatoes. Think about those foods. They don't have any ingredients at all, basically. Like, you know, it's just a one ingredient thing. Like potatoes, it's just potatoes. There's nothing else in it. But think about like candy. Try to look at the back of a candy or try to look at a cake. Look at how many fucked up ingredients there is. If there is ingredients that you don't know about, or more than 5, usually don't eat it. So the fourth step that I want to teach you is that you need to eat more protein. It's actually way more than you think. So there's a quick study here that I will just put it up somewhere, but the study basically says that it's been a lie what we have been told, that high amounts of protein will ruin our kidneys. I don't know if you have ever heard that, but my parents have told me that since the day one I started to want to eat more protein and start making gains. But it's actually just people, according to this research at least, that people who already have some kind of problems with their kidneys or sickness with their kidneys, they are the ones who gets damaged. But people with healthy kidneys, they don't get any damage. And furthermore, the study shows that usually it's because people eat processed food, processed meat. That's why the kidneys are getting damaged. Not when you eat healthy protein like red meat, and etc. So a good thumb rule is to eat 1.6 to 2.6 grams of protein per kilo weight. Usually you want to take it more in the higher end if you are a taller and more heavy person, because you need more protein for your body. If you are smaller like me and you are skinny, you would usually hold a little bit on the lower end because you wouldn't need as much as a more taller person. And the first step is the most important, and that is, of course, we want to build an aesthetic body. So we need to focus on what's called the 7 aesthetic muscles. So the 7 aesthetic muscles that will make you attractive, more attractive to women, which is basically, think about this for a man. A man is attracted to a woman who has the hourglass. So basically wide breast, a slim waist, and then it goes a bit wide again with the ass. That's like an hour shape. For a woman, the opposite is attractive, which is a V taper. So where we have a little bit of lats and our lateral delts are well built. But here are the 7 aesthetic muscles. Your neck, your upper traps, your lateral delts, your upper chest, your bicep, your lat, and then your abs. Those are the 7 aesthetic muscle groups that you need to train to become more attractive to women. So again, like I said before, I always used to train the wrong way. I did way too much volume for my body to actually being able to be capable of. So when I started to reduce the amount of sets and reps that I did, I actually made more progress. I didn't do 5 to 5, like not the strong kind of workout, but I did something called the reverse pyramid training. So the reverse pyramid training is where you start out with a heavy set, going 4 to 6 reps, and then you decrease the weight for the next sets. So the first set is usually 4 to 6 reps, the second set is 6 to 8, and then the third step is 8 to 10 reps. That is literally all you gotta do. And that's usually for the heavy compound movements. If you do isolated exercises for like your lateral delts or your bicep, usually we wanna do 8 to 10 or 10 to 12 in every set. And that's basically it. If you just do this, you will become an aesthetic and attractive looking guy as fuck on the beach this summer. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day, bro.